can't go lower because
Hi folks, welcome back to Living News, episode 13. We're so happy to have you with us tonight and to just share this time with us. We've got a really packed program today with some great new stuff and really looking forward to sharing that with you. Corinne, what do you think?
I think it's wonderful, Johnny. You forgot to introduce yourself. This is my co-host,
for those
Johnny.
that haven't seen it before, are new to Living News, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Corinne.
We're your hosts for today
yes.
and for this evening, and we're really looking forward to the program. Now, just to remember that as we go through the program today, if you've got anything you'd like to comment on any of the presenters or anything that you want to talk to us about, don't forget in your Facebook or YouTube, you can just type in your comments and we'll see those comments. We've got people in the background like Samantha is, and she'll show us the comments that you've written, and we'll be able to see what you've written.
Great point. We love the interaction with you, so feel free to do that.
Yeah, their interaction is really good. It just gives us that little extra boost that we need. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So just by saying that, remember our Living Books, Corinne, we had.
Yes.
For quite a few episodes, and then we had a bit of a break.
Yes, we did.
And we've got a new presenter for us to present our Living Book segment.
I'm excited about that. Yes.
And then we've got another great recipe as well from Angela. So great program tonight. And our special guest today, we'll introduce them later. So we've been trying to get this guest on for a while, and things just haven't fall into place, but they fall into place today, so we're really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
Have we forgotten anything, Corinne?
No, I think we're good.
We're good?
We're good. Let's go.
Okay, let's good. Well, we're going to start off with our recipe today. Last segment, episode 12, we had Angela, was our resident chef that cooked that chia
pudding.
Chia pudding. That was really good. Really good. That I had, and that so that was really good. And also tonight we've got a special one, and it's I'm not going to tell you what it is.
No, let's watch.
But I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
So yeah, thank you. Let's have a look at the recipe.
Wonderful.
Hi, and welcome back to another cooking segment. So tonight we're going to make a Thai-inspired pumpkin soup. So more or less just your pumpkin soup with a bit of a kick. We'll be using some really fresh ingredients, some pumpkin, some sweet potato, fresh garlic, ginger, and tonight we'll be using shallots. And so we're going to get started. The reason I say it's inspired is it's not your traditional Thai ingredients going in. So we'll be using olive oil. Just a disclaimer, I know it's not traditional. So, because we won't be using any peanut oil due to allergies. I actually have a nut allergy. And we will be using some lemon juice as well to dress it up a bit later. And again, we'll be using coconut cream as the cream base. But you can use any plant-based milk. So one of the tips when you are starting off with your cooking, always make sure that you've got a hot pan or a hot skillet. And one of the ways to test that, once it's been sitting there, is you just add a little bit of water And you should hear that sizzle when you see them create water bubbles on top of the surface of the pan or the pot that you're using. Starts running around, that's when you know it's ready. So you're going to add your oil, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan, 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil, and bring that up to temperature. And we're going to start adding all our other ingredients. We've got our shallots, our garlic, our ginger that we're going to add to it. I'm just going to cook that off. So just a couple of minutes cooking off so you get those flavors coming out. And you want to have that just on a medium heat, not too high, because you don't want your ingredients to burn. Now we're going to add our curry paste. We're only going to use half the can for this recipe. We're going to add our pumpkin that you've chopped up into nice roasting pieces. I'm going to stir that around. And to that we're going to add our sweet potato. Again, that's already been diced up, and we're just going to add it to the pot. So just mix it around. At this point, this is where you can add your vegetable stock, and you can do everything in the pot itself. But what I like to do, it is an extra step, but I think it makes a huge difference to it, is that I like to then put it in the ovens. So we're just going to pop it here in your oven tray. Leave that pot there for later. And so now you're going to cover that up and place it in the oven. Now we wait. And we're going to now add the pumpkin back into your pot that we were using earlier. We're going to add our vegetable stock, 2 cups, and then we're going to add our coconut cream. Let the vegetable stock cook for around 5 to 10 minutes. Bring it to the boil. Once it's come to the boil, that's when we can add the coconut cream to it. We're just going to remove it from the heat so that we can blend it up. So we were talking, how do you know it's done? So clean spoon, and it just coats the back of that spoon nicely. I'm going to bring over our soup. So now our soup is ready and plated up. We're going to invite Johnny in now to come and taste to see if it agrees with him. Come on through, John.
Thank you. Oh, wow, that looks nice.
So it's a Thai-inspired
Oh, I love Thai
soup. So
yeah,
it's not your
great.
traditional Thai, but there's just the flavours we've incorporated in it. So pumpkin soup with a bit of a kick.
Oh, wow, nice.
Enjoy.
A taste?
Try. Yes, please.
Taste a bit of this too.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep, that one's cut up already.
Oh, this
Yep.
one.
Yeah. You can just dunk it in.
Corinne, it's a shame you're not here. This is great.
And that's yours to enjoy.
Thank you very
Your
much.
lunch,
This is
just
great.
in time.
I'm not laughing. He's laughing. I'm not laughing. This is 2 episodes where he gets to do the tasting and I'm left out. And Thai is one of my favorite dishes as well, Johnny.
Well, it's not just your favourite dish, Corinne. I love Thai.
I know.
And you know, I've tasted many pumpkin soups over the years.
Yeah.
And some pumpkin soups are a bit, you bland. Some of them a bit sweet. Depends on
Okay.
the pumpkin you use.
Yeah.
But this one with that Thai touch to it,
Yeah.
oh, I just couldn't stop eating it. It was beautiful. It was really good.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, you get it?
Okay, let me
Yeah,
ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you had to rate this soup out of 10, what would you rate it?
10. 10 out of 10. It
Wow.
was beautiful. I think it's because of that touch of ginger and Thai type taste.
Yeah.
And it had a little bit of chili in it. You know how much I love chili.
Oh,
So a bit of chili, a bit
Hello.
of ginger, a bit of that Thai taste. Oh, it was really, really good. Thanks, Angela.
yeah, you're
Love it.
awesome. You're awesome, Ange.
Love it.
And I love that extra step. Normally, what I would do, chuck in everything, put in the stock, Bob's your uncle. I'm not going to go and put in the oven, but I'm going to try that step that she said, because I reckon maybe that's what made the difference from just a nice one to a really good soup, like you said.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ange. Yeah,
And
you want
just
to say
before we
something?
move on, Lizzie put up a comment about using water instead of oil.
Yes.
There are people, and it's a trend now, is to what they call the SOS diet, is where you cut out sugar, oil, and salt.
Okay.
That's the SOS.
I didn't know that.
And so there are a lot of people that are cutting out oils and things like that out of their diet. So if you don't want to use oil, Lizzie is saying, just put some water in,
Fair enough.
you know, to as the base to start it.
Yeah, I think it will still taste nice because
Yeah.
all the spices are there
Yeah.
anyway. So that's wonderful.
for
Thanks
sure.
for that. Thanks for
That's
that
really
comment,
good.
Lizzie. Yeah.
So I'll see if I can get you some food for the next episode.
you reckon?
Maybe,
You reckon?
maybe.
I'm
Depends
not-
on how
I'm
good
not
you are.
waiting.
But I really enjoyed it anyway.
Oh, good on you, Johnny.
Yeah.
You're good on you.
So Corinne, I think it's time actually. We're going to move on from. Did you have anything else you want to say about the recipe?
No, I think we talked about that. It was
Yeah.
awesome, and I didn't taste it, but it sounded like it was great.
It was
Thanks,
really good. We're going to move on now to our special guest. But just before we move on to our guest, we're just going to play a little video about some of the work some of the stuff that they do,
Okay.
and it's you'll understand when you see it.
All right.
Okay. So thank you, Danubia.
Fields all ripening and far and wide. The world now is waiting for the harvest time. The reapers are few and the work is great, and much will be lost should the harvest waste. The sheaves are good from the fields
Oh, Corinne,
That was beautiful.
wasn't that beautiful?
Wasn't
So
the locations amazing, and the singing?
And it's amazing all the young
Oh.
people there that were, all joined together in the singing. It's just
Yes.
so much harmony and
So
the orchestra and all that type of stuff.
Oh,
It was just
wow.
great.
That was brilliant.
And did you notice where it was, the location?
Yeah, a place called Barrenjoey, Headland, New South Wales.
Yeah, okay.
Gorgeous.
Good, wasn't it? Beautiful
Oh,
place.
yeah.
But rather than the place, let's invite our guest Danny to the screen. Oh, Danny.
Hello, Danny.
G'day,
Welcome to Living.
Corinne. G'day, Johnny.
Yeah,
That was very nice, wasn't it?
Oh,
That was
awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Danny Brooks, thank you very much for joining us this evening. As I said earlier, we've been trying for a while to get you guys, but things just didn't work out, but we're just so happy to have you here today, Danny.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is a organisation called Eastwood Missions.
Yeah.
And so, Danny, maybe and Madison Missions. There's actually
Missions,
two organisations combined. Got a joint venture site type of thing. So, Danny, can you just maybe give us some history on Eastwood and Madison?
Yeah, sure, Johnny. Eastwood's been around a while, been around about 20 years. We've got someone working with us now in Madison who's probably late 20s, and she was at Eastwood training camps in her teens. So Eastwood probably started in Sydney in the early 2000s. And they're just overall with the goal of setting up a training institute in Australia for medical missionaries, for Bible workers, health workers. And for a while, they're running a school. For a while there, they've done different things in that line, the youth ministry line. Years have just launched, Eastwood has launched Madison Missions, which is based, I don't know if anyone knows the history of Madison in the USA. It was a self-supporting school, started about 120 years ago with E.A. Sutherland and Percy McGahn in charge. And they really wanted to fulfill the blueprint of education. And so it was fully self-funded. It did a whole heap of things, and it sent out missionaries. Probably 60% of its graduates were missionaries and Bible workers and health workers who supported themselves and didn't require funding from anyone. So that's really the vision. And so, yeah, you've seen that music camp video there. I hadn't actually seen that one, which was a beautiful thing, gave us some joy. But the music camp is part of it. We also do a health retreat called the Maker Heals.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you will know about that. And these guys also do a lot of canvassing. And just as you saw lots of young faces in that music video, the canvassers are young as well. So you'll have young people in their teens knocking on doors.
So I'm glad you're mentioning the age. What age group are you looking at?
All around Australia. So there's really three main arms to the organisation at the moment: the health retreat, the Maker Heals, the camp. Well, I was giving a bit of a spruik about this at a church recently in Western Victoria, and someone said, "Oh, I wish I was 20." And she said, "Then I could come to your training school," because we're trying to set up. We're just beginning to establish a property now as a training school. And I said, "Look, these Madam stories of the past, and we like the idea of doing things differently, not just doing things, the way the mainstream schools might operate." I've been a teacher for 25 years, and my wife's the same, teaching in New Zealand, teaching in Australia, teaching in Adventist schools. And we're really refreshed by this different way of doing things that really follows the blueprint of what God wants us to do, what God showed Ellen White, and she passed on, often being kind of rebuffed or knocked back as she was trying to get this go 100+ years ago. So we're just trying to breathe some new life into that, and it's very refreshing to see those sparks take off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's indeed very refreshing to see young people wanting to sing like that and and so happy to be doing it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very talented young people.
So how do the young people know about what you're doing? I mean, when
Yeah,
I looked at the number of young
music.
there was so many. Oh, no, it's struggling.
We
Yeah,
apologize for
there were
something.
60. Look, I've just joined after.
Danny, we're losing you a little bit with regards to the
Yeah.
internet.
I'll just talk
We
whether
know-
I'm frozen or not. Sorry, guys. I'm used to teaching in lockdowns
We
over
know,
Zoom.
we know you're not home in your normal surrounding because you're somewhere in East Albury here, and you're doing something very special there. Do you want to tell us about that? Sorry, I've jumped a bit, but I can you hear us, Danny.
Oh, I don't know what's happened here. You can hear us. Okay, keep going, Danny.
Yeah, am I
So
on now? Is the
yeah.
the Wi-Fi working now?
Yep.
Frozen on that.
It was
We knew
working
some
well
guys from
before.
church. Some of the guys you saw in the video singing. Okay, so we got on board out of our school teaching lives, and some friends of ours who'd been involved in Do and Dare camp. Some of you might know the Do and Dare, the Madison camps. And so some of these guys had said, hey, there's a hotel for sale up in Grania, which is a tiny town east of Melbourne. Are we there?
Okay. Yes.
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We're good.
I can see you guys all right. Are we there?
Yep.
So we're there camps on in a hotel for sale up in Grania. Now, we'd never heard of that. It's in northeast Victoria, up near Albury. First working bee day, we took the bar out. Yeah.
So, folks, in the
So
those watching online, we're just letting you know that we've asked Danny to turn off his video just to reduce the bandwidth and just talk to us.
Go. I'll try the audio.
Thanks, Danny. You know, Corinne, it's a bit interesting. We tested this
I know.
for the last hour before we went live,
I know.
and now it's.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a face for radio, I'm sure, so that's fine. But
that's all right.
I like
Radio will
your sense of
do.
humor.
We can, as long as we can hear you.
Yeah.
we got better.
Yeah, it's a little bit better,
Yeah.
Danny.
So we're in a good remote place. We're in a good remote place, which is why the
internet is dropping out.
I'm like this, less
if you
time
could
on our
do
phones
that,
and computers. So we're really trying.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, for those that didn't hear, Danny's in quite a remote place. It's a shame the internet's not great. We did test this before, and it was all
Not
working
working?
fine. Yeah, we can hear you, Danny. So our team there is just putting up some websites that you can go to, madison.org.au. There's also Eastwood, eastwood.edu.au. So you can go to these websites and you can have a look, and that will give you a lot more information.
So
we'll try a little bit more, but then if we don't have any success, we might have to
we'll just
put the
continue.
next video on. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, maybe Danny, while we put in our health clip, if maybe you can just drop out and come back in and see if that helps, and then we'll come back to you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
let's just move on to our health clip with Dr. Bindia.
Okay.
So
Did you
Thank
want to
you.
go to the next song, or you want to go to the
No,
health
we're going
clip?
to go.
All right, let's go to the health clip.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Bindya Sethi. I'm back again with a bit more information. This time, we're going to talk about women's health. So, you would have heard something about cervical screening test, have you? I think you have. Okay. So, cervical screening test is a test that is done by your GP or your gynecologist to check for cervical cancer. It is a screening test. And what does a screening test mean? So, a screening test means that we're testing for the cancer before it has even started. So, we're looking for the causes of cancer, which means the things that actually cause cancer. This test used to be called as pap smear in the past. You would have heard of a pap smear. It is still commonly known as pap smear, but the correct term is CST, which is cervical screening test. So, who should get this done? Women between the age of 25 and 74 should get it done. It is done every 5 years if it has been normal in the past. And if this test comes out to be abnormal, then the doctor will guide you when you should do it, how often you should do it, and if you need any further testing. So basically, cervical screening test is checking for cervical cancer. What is cervical cancer? Cervical cancer is the cancer of the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus. And this test is done. Basically, you go and see your GP. And so this test, so cervical screening test is basically done to find out the cancer of the cervix. Now, there is a virus which is called human papillomavirus, commonly known as HPV, which causes this cancer. The way someone gets this virus, it is a sexually transmitted disease. So basically, the virus comes through sexual activity. Now, this sexual activity causes the virus, so it can be protected basically by doing safe sex. And when you turn 25, you start doing this test. There are now two options available. One is that the doctor does the test for you. And then the other option is that basically they print a form for you and they give you the test vial, or let's call a swab. And it's easy to do it in your own privacy and give it to the doctor, to the nurses in your medical center, basically. It is important that you see a doctor before you do the test, because they need to take a careful history before it can be decided whether you do the test yourself or whether the doctor does it for you. Once the test is done, the laboratory issues a report on that. And then, depending on the results, if further testing is needed, or whether the test is normal and after 5 years, we repeat the test again. This is what it is. So there is a vaccine for cervical cancer prevention also. And the age that it is done is when you're in grade 7. So all the school kids in year 7 basically get it. It's called HPV vaccine. The other name for that is Gardasil 9. It is given to girls of that age group, and it is also given to boys of that age group. It is important that girls and boys both get that vaccine. And if it comes out to be positive, or the cervical cancer, it turns out that there is a possibility that there might be cell changes, or if the virus is present, then your GP may need to send you to a gynecologist. And then the gynecologist basically does a colposcopy and maybe further testing to find out if there are any changes in the cells. Usually, when the virus is present, it takes a very long time for the cancer to develop, and that's why this screening test is very effective. It is important that you start at the age of 25 and you keep going every 5 years up to the age of 74. After the age of 74, it is basically your decision whether you would like to continue doing the test or whether you want to stop doing tests. So yeah, this is something to have a think about. And any women in the family that you have starting from the age of 25 up to the age of 74, please talk to them, get them to do the test regularly with your GP. Talk to your GP about it and get going. In the next episode, what we will talk about is a bit more about women's health. And I think I would like to include the topic of perimenopause or menopause, because there's a lot of women who talk to me about the changes that they're feeling, the symptoms that they're feeling, and they're not getting the answers or the help that they want about menopause. So we will talk about that. Thank you.
Corinne.
I have to say, I think I said that in the last episode. I love the way that Dr. Bindia actually explained things so well.
Yeah.
Women's health is something so important. And I'm so glad that on this show, we actually let our viewers know that you need to go and get your tests done regularly. And you know, one thing I think from the past, Johnny, that actually put women off, for me anyway, if I'm being honest, is the fact that it's an uncomfortable test. And I actually learned from that video that you have two options. Now you can actually do, the test yourself, ask your doctor first, like Dr. Bindia said, or the nurse or the doctor will do it. Back in the days, I don't really remember having that option, but it's so important for you to go and do those tests. Like Dr. Bindia said, age 25 to 74. And, it gets picked up way earlier. So I always say prevention is better than cure. So if you are in that age group, we want to encourage you to go and talk to your doctor. And, your health is so important, and go and get some advice. I mean, I like the fact also that boys and girls at a young age, year 7, can have a vaccine done. So, I think it was called HPV vaccine. It's all great things because, like I said, you don't want to leave it and then say, oh, I wish I had done the test. So this is an education on, for especially obviously for the women to go and get your test done. And so from what we talked about today, I want to also encourage you. Dr. Bindia already said that next time she'll be talking about menopause. If you have any questions, please ask us. She knows her stuff. She's a professional doctor, and we will pass on that information.
Yep.
And we want to answer your questions. I know I have a few, and I know that it's something that, with women's health, I feel like there's a lot of things we need to talk about. Those things that were taboo before, that's old school. Now we need to put it on, out there so that we can get the screening, get everything done. So Dr. Bindia, I really appreciate that you bring this to our attention so that we can take control of our own health. So thank you so much. Johnny,
Sure,
did you
thank
want to
you.
add anything to that?
Yeah, I did. And what I wanted to say, Corinne, is that even though we're talking about cervical cancer and all those type of things today, we're not always going to be talking about women's health. But the reason why we're talking about it this episode and the next episode is because it's a demand out there.
Absolutely.
And it's a growing trend with these issues, and some women are suffering. And so we just want to give opportunity for you to hear what Bindia has to say in a easy to understand language that Bindia shares with us. So thank you.
Yeah, we're very happy to have her on board
Mhm.
because, like I said, it could make a difference to. It might not be you that need to have that test done, but everybody has a daughter.
Yeah.
A friend, a niece, or whatever, a young person, your neighbor. If you're comfortable, and to talk about these health issues, encourage them to go and see the doctor and have those tests done. So
Yeah, so we've just got somebody just put in too that in the chat there that it'd be good to have some men Bindia to talk about some men's health,
Yes.
like prostate testing and so forth too.
Yes.
So maybe not the next episode, but maybe an episode 15 or so forth. We may be able to do that.
Yeah, I think we should do that for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's great. Look, if you got any questions, and just chat to us, and we'll see what we can do. If we can pass them on to Dr. Bindia, we will, and so forth. So,
yeah, she's very helpful. She knows her stuff.
yeah. Danny did come back, but he's disappeared again. So I'm not sure what's happened to Danny. I think he's out in the country, and it looks like his internet's not great. We did have a test run, as I said before, but it looks like it hasn't worked. But look, we can tell you a little bit about it anyway. But if he comes back on, we will get him back on. So just in case he will come back on, we're just going to move on to a segment that we used to have, but we haven't had for a while. And this is just given it a bit of a revamp. And so we've got a new presenter. And look, Sylvia was great. We love Sylvia.
Oh, yes, we do.
She's just had a lot on. And so we've just asked somebody else to present this segment for us. So let's have a look at Living Books.
Hi, my name is Josh, and we are bringing back the Living Books segment where we get to share amazing books, encouraging reads, and thoughtful and challenging books. This is a book that I recommend to everyone, and so I just want to share it with you guys as well. It is called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. I find myself coming back to this book every single year, and every single year I am deeply challenged by it. John Mark highlights a cultural phenomenon that plagues each and every one of us: time, busyness, and distraction. I find page after page resonating with what he writes in there. See, have you ever found yourself, someone asks you, "Hey, how are you?" And you respond, "I'm good, but I'm busy." So many people are in a rush. So many people are busy. I find myself busy and overloaded at times, exhausted and drained at the end of the week. The number one problem all of us face is time. I find what John Mark writes in this book so challenging. Yes, he writes about busyness, but he also writes about our modern habit of the internet and the phone and how it just distracts and absorbs us. He shares so many sobering statistics. Like, did you know that the average iPhone user touches their phone 2,617 times a day? That's a lot of times we touch our phone. And attached to that was this thought: what if God touched my mind as much as I touched my phone? I find myself challenged by that thought time and time and time again. The first half of the book really addresses this problem that we face, but the second half focuses on what we can do. And he offers how Jesus gives us a better way to live. Jesus doesn't just give us a set of ideas or a set of beliefs, but Jesus gives us a better way to live. And he invites us to adopt Jesus' lifestyle as our own. And then the second half of the book, he highlights things like Sabbath and the part that can play in our life. This idea of slowing down, this idea of simplicity, and this idea of just finding moments of silence in our life. And so if you're looking for a book to read, I highly recommend The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It's really easy to read, short paragraphs, but I find that it will resonate with you and leave you inspired and challenged. So enjoy this read.
Wow, Corinne. John Mark, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Wow, that's great. Look, we've got a comment there. It says it was It was all new to me too. The HPV vaccine. Oh, this is talking about the health. Okay,
Yes.
no worries. So, thanks, John, for that commentary. Appreciate it. Going back to the book
Yeah.
written by
Josh-
John Mark. Do you know how many people? You know, if I collected a coin for every time somebody called me John Mark,
Why?
a lot of people call me
I
John
never knew
Mark.
that.
Yeah,
Why?
because John and my
Saint
surname
Mark.
Saint Mark. Yeah, they call me John Mark.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but anyway,
Anyway,
I'm not the author of
John
the
Mark,
book, by the way. There was it was a different John Mark that wrote the book. But I think that book is really interesting, Corinne. I haven't read it, but just listening to Josh, I'm thinking I'm going to get the book and read it. It's great.
I think so. And Josh did such a good job of explaining as well.
Yeah,
And even the amount of times that people touch their mobile phones,
yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
and that's the average.
Over 2,000
Over
times a
2,000.
day.
That's just crazy.
Yeah,
I was reading some of the things about the book, and thank you, Josh, for bringing that book to our attention. Never heard of it, but you know, when you meet someone like Josh, say, "Hey, how are you going?" Good. I've been so busy. It's like good and busy goes together.
yeah,
You know, like if you're not doing something, you feel really like, oh, I should be doing something.
yeah.
A comment from that book, he said it was important to not be afraid of doing nothing.
Yeah. That's hard for some people.
Doing nothing. And it says to plan such times. As some of you might know, you've been there, Johnny. We have a little property down in Whoop Whoop.
Yeah.
Right. And when we go there, sometimes we do nothing. And then we come back, it's like, wow. And we had to get used to that, because when you do nothing, you feel guilty that you're not doing nothing.
Yeah, I know. I've
should be
been
doing
through that
something.
too. Yep.
We're doing nothing. We should be doing something.
Yeah.
And there was an invitation. If you start reading the book at the front, it says it's a great invitation. Listen to what it says. Take a deep breath. Put your cell phone away. Let your heart slow down, and let God take care of the world.
Yeah,
Doesn't that sound just so peaceful?
it does. And I look, I like the bit that Josh mentioned towards the end there about, you know, God gave us this Sabbath as well, where we can have this break, just get away from everything that we work
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. It's such
Yeah.
a blessing, such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And this book is like that too. That, you know, and that's why sometimes it's good just to get away, switch off, and out of the environment that you're normally in.
Yeah.
Or change your environment.
Yeah.
You know, like for your home, for instance, if you're in there, change your environment. Have a place in your home where you can go to where it's just quiet.
Yeah.
You know, and you can just relax.
Absolutely. I like that. And even if you think, Johnny, even we're teaching our kids to be busy. Oh, you got soccer that night, you got this, you got that. So it's like constantly trying to, you know, do something all the time. I saw a comment from Ange saying, I would like to read this book. Guess what? We are actually, because we think this is a great book. And thanks again, Josh, for bringing that book up to our attention. We're actually going to give away one book.
Fantastic.
We got one book. So if you're interested to get that book for free, of course, what should they do, Johnny?
What they need to do is in the commentary, just write to us, say you'd like to be in the giveaway for the book, The Elimination of Hurry. And then what happens, all the names that we get in the commentary between now and the next episode.
Yeah, okay.
We'll actually put into a hat and we'll draw them out and we'll announce the winner of that book in our next episode. So just
That's lovely.
And look, and even if you're not on live and you listen to this and watch this program in the next 4 weeks before our next episode, you can still put into the chat your name and that you want to be in the draw for this book, and then we'll get it. We'll put your name in as well. So you don't have to be live to put your name in.
Yeah, I think that's a book that honestly anybody should be reading, because everyone is busy these days.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen those rats that they have in the lab that's constantly turning on that wheel? I feel like, you know, the rats come off, but we've come on. And, you know, sometimes it's just like too much. And you think, I need to get away. I need to have a holiday. But really, we should learn to switch off. Like you said, Johnny, in your house, you don't need to pay thousands to switch off. You just need to have the tools. And I feel like this book will give us some tools of how we can do that and get rid of the hurry.
Another way to do it, Corinne, too, is to go out in the garden. And you don't have to, like, you know, have a big shovel and doing hard work where you're sweating and things like that. But just go out, just pick a few things here and there, maybe just pull out a few weeds. But just be out there in the greenery and just, or in the veggies or what, or the flowers. It doesn't matter. Just get out there, and it's amazing how much more you will relax.
So true. So true. Good advice there. So yeah, so like Johnny said, put your name in. There's a few people that have said they'd like to have the book. I'd like to have the book and give it to someone I know.
So it looks like we've lost Danny. So thank you. Did you want to say anything else about the book, Corinne? No?
No, I think we've said everything. I think we've made the point.
No, that's great.
Yeah, we need
looks like we've lost Danny. Like we said, he's out in the country and looks like he's having trouble with his internet. But just a few things about Madison Mission. It's a program where they work with young people, late teens, early 20s, to encourage them, to train them to go out in ministry, to go out and tell people that Jesus is coming back soon. Tell people about the love of Jesus. And so I really, you know, it's a great work that they're doing. They used to be in Nabathon. Now they've moved to just near the border of New South Wales and Victoria. And they've got a place there that they've bought and they're renovating to be able to do all this training. So as you saw, Corinne, they have these camps for music as well.
Yes.
So, and that's separate to the training for evangelism. It's a music camp.
Yes.
Where they learn music and try different things. And these camps, they record these musical items as well, which is a really, really good ministry. And not only that, they do concerts and choirs with from the camp that they've done.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
Lovely. And you know, Johnny, I was speaking to, like we said, like Johnny said before, everything was working really well when we were chatting to Danny before we went live. And Danny, you can tell he has a passion, you know, and he was saying how, you know, when you go to those camps and those kids do a praise, like, you know, singing a praise and worship, it's like incredible. Like, you know how sometimes young people are a bit shy and to get them to come up and do a song or whatever. He said when you go to those camps, you can just ask anybody and they're more than happy to come up, and the singing is amazing. And
what really amazed me, Corinne, was the amount of young people there in that setting. It's just amazing. It's great.
It was very, I felt like the video was really professionally done. And we have another video that we're going to show you soon, of another scene. And I actually wanted to ask him a question. But anyway, if you watch the video, you'll know what I mean, because the setting of it is just, breathtaking. Love it. And all I was thinking is, how did they get them there?
Yeah.
Did you think that as well? How did they get them there? They look so relaxed, very professional. The scenery was just amazing. And so like Johnny said, we're really sorry, Danny, that you know, it didn't go as planned, but the information is there. The videos are there as well, and you know, and we would love to show you another clip. Do you think we should go to that clip now?
Yeah, why not? Let's go to the other song that Madison Mission or Eastwood have been able to provide for us.
to yonder Calvary, where my burden I left behind.
In the way that's straight and narrow, I'll press onward to the prize.
And my heart beats on Jesus, for yea, of rejoicing that will be, when we all see Jesus, and cross our cross before His face. Walking on the pilgrim pathway, light will overspread the sky. Northern traveling days are over, but a shot on the side.
When we all get to heaven, what a day it is! When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Onward to the prize before us, soon His beauty will behold. Soon the pearly gates will open, we shall tread His gold. When we all get to heaven, what a day it will be! When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. When we all get to heaven, what a day it will be! When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory.
Wow, Corinne, whew, that was great. I love that. It was just, you know, what's amazing? Up on that rock face where the waterfall is, they've got a piano up there.
That's what I'm saying. How did they get all?
You got piano, you got all sorts of stuff up there. It's amazing. And even when they're on the sand, they had piano on the sand. And I think there's a one of their songs I've seen. They've got actually like a grand piano out on the sand. So it's just amazing how they get the equipment there and the teamwork that they have.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I just wanted to highlight something, Corinne, about Madison Mission
Sure.
and so forth, that we highlighted, you know, about the music and that a bit. They also do a lot of really good canvassing work where they sell books, Christian books to help to let people know about the gospel message, and also door knocking and telling people about Jesus. So I know I mentioned that at the beginning, but I just want to reiterate that it's not just about the singing. It's just other great ministry work that they do. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that.
Thank you, Johnny, for bringing that to our attention. You know, Johnny and I are very excited to do Living News because we always say there's so much of bad news going out there. But you know what? You put the radio on, Florida, someone said to me, what's going on with the world? Someone I was just talking to today. And you know, that person said, you know what? There's something going to happen to the world. Jesus is going to come soon. And when I think of this song that we just heard, and those young people sharing that message of hope with other people, I think, wow, this is really impressive. Because we all know that life is tough. There's tough things happening, but there's a good thing happening, and there's a good message to be spread out. So good of those young people to do that. It should be up to all of us. And you know, that arrangement that we had in that song where the piano came on, you remember I said to you, listen to that bit there. It changed
its tune. Yep.
What do you call it? Like it changed something. I'm not very musical, but you know what? Indeed, it will be a great, great time when we get to heaven. And indeed, it will be a beautiful, beautiful place of rejoicing.
Yep.
And we look forward to that. And the reason we share Living News is because there's so much good news.
There's a lot of good news out there that people don't get to hear because there's so much bad news,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
about this elimination of hurry, this, we can get caught up
Yeah.
in the day to day, and
Yeah.
and so that is the purpose of Living News, my friends.
Absolutely.
My friends, that hope you've been blessed from Living News, and don't forget, to share the links to these programs so that you can help other people learn about some good news stories.
Yeah. I feel really excited. I feel like we have. Thank you guys, the team. At the back there.
Yeah.
We have a great team. I just feel really, really good about the program that we're bringing to you. And apologies again for today for the dropout. But you know what? At the end of the day, I feel like, like I said, you can go to the those websites.
Go
and
to the
look them up
website. Yeah.
and look them up. They have a camp. I think in New South Wales at the end of December, going right through to mid-Jan. Look it up if you know someone that would love something like that, a young person. I like the fact that we talk about a cure for young people and a test for young people that we talked about from Dr. Bindia. I like the fact that we had a young person promoting a book. I like the fact that we have a young Ange as well sharing with us her beautiful cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's been a great program.
Yeah. Thank you, Corinne, and thank you again for all our team again. So, and thank you to our audience. If it wasn't for you, what would we have? So thank you for your support.
Yes. And until next time, remember to put in for that giveaway book if you want it.
Yep.
And we'll let you know next episode. Do you know the date of the next episode?
Yeah, 8th of November.
8th of November. Sorry to put you on
Pretty
the
sure
spot.
that's the right date. Jamuka. I'm pretty sure it's 8th of November. But anyway, it's the second Friday night in November. I'm pretty sure
Second
it's the 8th
Friday
of
night.
November.
So we look forward to seeing
Yep.
you again the second Friday night in November.
Yep.
Until then, take care and get your test done.
Hang on, we're just checking the date
We're
now.
just checking the date. You are spot on.
Friday, the 8th of November is our next episode, and that will be our last episode for the year. And then we'll have a break for a couple of months, and we'll be back again in February. But 8th of November it is.
So that's the first Friday of the month, yeah?
8th, the second Friday. The first is the first Friday.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
second-
you're
second
spot
Friday.
on. Yeah.
Yep. Next
Thank you so
episode, 8th of November.
All right.
Thanks, team.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
everyone. See
Bye.
you next time. Bye.